June 4th, 2010 was an ordinary school morning. A 7-year-old boy vanished inside a crowded building with no witnesses, no alarms, and not a single trace. The school's busy hallways should have made disappearance impossible. But for Kyron Horman, they became the starting point of a mystery that stunned Oregon. How does a child simply vanish in less than 45 minutes? At 8 o'clock that morning, Kyron Horman stepped out of his family's white pickup truck, clutching his science fair project. He was 7 years old, small for his age, with glasses that slipped down his nose and a grin that lit up the hallway. The school was already alive with the buzz of parents and students, everyone weaving between tables covered in volcanoes, solar systems, and animal posters. Kyron's own display, a bright poster about red tree frogs, waited near the front. His stepmother Terry snapped pictures as he stood proudly beside it, his excitement clear in every frame. These photographs, taken inside Skyline Elementary just after 8, would become the last confirmed images of Kyron. For a few minutes, he was simply a second grader, showing off his hard work, surrounded by the noise and color of a typical school morning. No one knew these would be the final moments anyone could place him for certain. At 8:45 in the morning, Kyron's classroom chair sat empty. His teacher glanced at the roll sheet and marked him absent. She assumed he was running late from the science fair or had a doctor's appointment. Nothing unusual for a busy morning. No one sounded an alarm. The day moved forward, students filed in and out, and the absence went unquestioned. It wasn't until the final bell that the routine broke. Kyron's bus arrived at its stop, but he wasn't on board. The driver told Terry Horman that Kyron hadn't been at school all day. That single moment, one child missing from a bus, set off the first ripple of panic. Terry called the school office. Staff checked attendance and confirmed what no one wanted to believe. Kyron had been marked absent since the very start. In a matter of minutes, an ordinary day had turned into an emergency. Police cars pulled up to Skyline Elementary just after the call came in. Staff locked every door. Teachers kept students in their classrooms, while officers and school employees started a room-by-room search. Hallways that had been crowded with parents and kids minutes earlier were now silent, except for the sound of doors opening and closing. Every classroom, bathroom, and storage closet was checked. The gym, library, and cafeteria were swept in quick succession. Staff retraced the main hallway, checked under desks, behind curtains, and inside unlocked supply rooms. Each area was cleared and marked. Outside, officers blocked exits and checked playgrounds and parking lots. The searchers moved methodically, working from the inside out, determined not to miss a single corner. But as the minutes passed, there was still no sign of Kyron. Within hours, the search for Kyron grew into the largest operation of its kind in Oregon's history. Over 1,300 volunteers and professionals answered the call, including teachers, neighbors, off-duty firefighters, and search and rescue teams from 3 states. K-9 units swept the fields and ravines, while boats and divers scoured nearby waterways. Drones and helicopters mapped the dense forest surrounding the school, each pass covering new ground. The search cost quickly soared past $1.4 million, fueled by the urgency to find a missing child. Tip lines lit up, with more than 4,200 leads pouring in, but none brought answers. A $50,000 reward was posted, hoping to spark a break. Despite the surge of people, technology, and resources, the search turned up nothing. No clue, no trail, not a single trace of Kyron anywhere. Terry Horman's account of that morning became the center of the investigation. She said she left Skyline Elementary at 8:45 in the morning after watching Kyron head down the hallway toward his classroom. For the next several hours, Terry described a routine filled with errands. She said she stopped at 2 Fred Meyer stores, drove her daughter around to soothe an earache, and worked out at a local gym before returning home just after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Detectives, searching for any gap or inconsistency, reviewed her cell phone activity and movement. According to media reports, investigators questioned whether her phone locations matched her story, but no official records have ever been released. Terry also underwent multiple polygraph tests. News outlets reported she did not pass, but law enforcement has never published results, and polygraphs are not considered reliable evidence in court. Throughout, Terry has denied any involvement and has never been charged with a crime. Witnesses described a white Ford pickup parked near Skyline Elementary that morning. Its presence raised questions investigators still cannot answer. The truck matched the one Terry Horman drove, but reports hinted at the possibility of another person inside, someone never identified and never found. Detectives canvassed the area, collected tips, and reviewed every vehicle registration in reach. Yet no license plate, no photograph, and physical evidence ever tied a stranger or a second truck to Kyron's disappearance. Forensic teams found no footprints, no fibers, and no fingerprints. There was nothing to anchor the investigation to a single theory. The search for answers circled back to the same dead ends. 5 major theories remain: abduction inside the school, family involvement, a stranger in the truck, Kyron walking off alone, or hidden foul play. None have ever been confirmed. The only certainty is the silence left behind, a case with no evidence, and a child who vanished without a trace. Today, schools still struggle with blind spots, places routine fails to protect. Until every gap is closed, Kyron's disappearance remains a warning. Even the safest spaces demand vigilance. Stay safe out there.